this is Kelsey, not Chelsea, not live. I am Kelsey, and today I'm here to do the social media book tag. So the amazing, generous, talented, beautiful Malaray of Sunshine tagged me in the social media book tag a few weeks ago, and I've been dying to do the tag, but I've been super stressed out because my book is like just a few days away from publication. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you before. Oh, I have? Yeah, am I annoying you? Sorry, but it's a really big deal. This is like the coolest tag that I've seen in a million years, and it's time to do the tag. So without further ado, the social media book tag. For the book that represents Twitter in the social media book tag, you are supposed to name your favorite book that was also the shortest. But I think that probably my favorite short book is The Giver. I've read The Giver dozens of times, not only as a reader, but also now as a teacher because we teach The Giver in middle school, and I think it is an incredible book that I just never tire of. I love dystopian stories, and The Giver in a lot of ways is just like the original, and it's got that almost creepy factor, and it's just almost close enough to home to like sort of freak you out, and there's a few twists and turns, and I think that The Giver is an amazing book, and it's definitely one of the shortest ones that I love. So I'm gonna give it up to The Giver. Okay, so for Facebook, you're supposed to name the book that everybody pressured you into reading. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and say Gone Girl is the book that everyone was pressuring me into reading. Everyone read this a billion years ago when it was out in hardback, and they were already super big Gillian Flynn fangirls, and I just sort of never picked it up. And then the movie buzz started up, and everybody thought the movie looked amazing, and finally a bunch of my friends all decided we were going to commit and read it around the same time, and I lucked out finding it at the grocery store for like $9, so I picked it up and I read it in just a few days. I loved it, so thanks to everybody who was pressuring me into reading this for the last couple of years. It was awesome. I loved it beginning to end. I loved it. Okay, for the Tumblr book, you're supposed to name a book that you liked, that you read, that you enjoyed before it was cool. So I've actually picked a book that might not ever have actually been cool, but I definitely read it before it was really popular, before it was well known. I'm actually sort of a closeted Dan Brown fan. I read the Da Vinci Code and really enjoyed that, but before the Da Vinci Code was Angels and Demons. Angels and Demons was the first of these stories about this particular character, Robert Langdon, and I read this and I think it's a better story than Da Vinci Code, and I think it is one of those books that just sort of keeps you in like the grips of like turning every page. I love this sort of pseudo-religious, historical, Indiana Jones-ish kind of feel to these sorts of books, and I read this, and then of course Da Vinci Code blew up and everybody was reading that and it was hugely controversial, and then they made the movie of Da Vinci Code and I was like, but Angels and Demons is even better, and then later they made the movie for that one. So yeah, I definitely liked that before Angels and Demons hit its heyday. Okay, the MySpace book is supposed to be a book that you can't really remember if you liked it or not. And for that book, I am going to name The Mockingbirds by Daisy Whitney. I read this, I reviewed it on Goodreads with like 4 stars, but I didn't write anything down, and I really can't remember what I thought about it. I remember that I thought it had some really important themes and some really important issues present in the book, and I think that I remember thinking that it was well written, but I don't remember much of the plot. I don't remember really anything other than having an overall, in general, I think it was good. So yeah, I have no idea. Like, I didn't read it all that long ago, but I have no idea really what I thought about it. So this is my MySpace pick. For my Instagram pick, I'm supposed to name a book that I thought was so beautiful that I just had to take a picture of it. And am I biased? Yes, absolutely, totally, 100% yes, I am biased. I love my friend Megan Whitmer's book so much that I definitely have taken many pictures of it on social media and spread it for the world to see. I love the colors, I love the depiction of the between, I love the depiction of Seth, and I think that it's a really great cover, and I've definitely put it on display more than once. So when I scrolled through my Instagram, it was the clear winner of books that I just had, you know, taken pictures of and sort of loved all over. hitchhiker. So Between by Imogen Whitmer is definitely my Instagram pick. My YouTube book pick is supposed to be a book that you wish would be made into a movie. So I'm kind of gonna cheat in a couple of ways in this category. The first way that I'm going to cheat is that I'm going to choose a short story that I read. And the second way that I'm going to cheat is I don't necessarily think that the short story was perfectly written. I just think it is a great high concept idea that would make a great movie if it were made and if it had great script writers, great screenwriters. I think it could be a really cool movie. So the story is by Jack Kilborn and it's called Serial. And its whole premise is the idea of what if there was a guy who was like a long distance driver who picked up hitchhikers and was a serial killer and murdered hitchhikers. And likewise, what if there was a hitchhiker who likes to hitch rides and then is a serial killer and kills people who pick up the hitchhiker? So in this short story, the serial killer hitchhiker was picked up by the serial killer picker-upper of hitchhikers, the long-distance driver. I just think that it's a really kind of interesting concept, and I think that it would be interesting to see on screen. Again, I don't think that the short story was perfect, but I do think that it's a really interesting concept, and I think that in the right hands, it could be a really interesting film. And for my Goodreads pick, it's supposed to be a book that you recommend to everyone. There is a series of books that is up at the schoolhouse. I don't have it with me, but this series of books, I think, is absolutely one of the most wonderful and enjoyable middle grade series that I've ever read. And I don't think that it has a lot of buzz. And every time someone is talking to me about children's literature or really exceptionally well-written middle grade, especially people who like mystery and puzzles and clues and problem solving like I do, I always recommend The Mysterious Benedict Society. Just such a great series, and it's just so cute and charming, and I love it. And I tell everybody that I know that's ever looking for a middle grade read, I think that it's just exceptional. So that's definitely my most recommended book, my most recommended series. I think this is the coolest book tag that I've seen in a really long time, and I would like to tag a few people who have not completed the tag based on my total stalking of their YouTube channels. So these are some people that I would love to see do this challenge. I would love to see Read Susie Read do this challenge, Cozy T Reads, Imogen Whitmer, Scrambled Megs needs to make a comeback, and any of my friends over at the YA Word Nerds. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Don't forget, you still have plenty of time left to enter the Say Yes to Distressed video contest and submit your own embarrassing video for a chance to win an annotated final paperback copy of Damsel Distressed. I'll be sure to link all of that information in the box down below. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Bye. So I start singing and I'm like really feeling it, and I'm like slowing things down, and I'm like, oh, say can you see? And I'm trying to be like super dramatic because obviously that's like a thing that I do.